JCB Pioneer Mars. Is it worth a buy, guys? Is it? Let's read the words of the developer, then I'll tell you my experience of it. JCB Pioneer Mars drops you on the surface of the Red Planet. Your mission to survive and prepare Mars for the future human colonization. Experience incredible survival sandbox gameplay and explore Mars using a selection of futuristic, ultra-rigged JCB vehicles designed specifically for the challenge. Mine precious materials, construct large-scale buildings and research new technologies to ensure humanity's future lies beyond planet Earth. So what is JCB Pioneer Mars? Well, it's one of them colony building games, basically, where you start off with pretty much nothing, a lunar module, and in this case you get a garage with a JCB vehicle in it, and you have to build up means of creating oxygen, food, water. You have to mine minerals. They're in these little, what looks like little puddles, really, that you just scoop out with your digger, and you get whatever minerals is in that little resource pool. You can then refine it into more enriched minerals to make bigger and better structures. You have to power them with solar and things like that, and you just keep expanding your base. That's the way the game goes. It's in early access, very early access. In fact, for me, it's way too early access. It's full of bugs. It lacks a decent tutorial. And worst of all, I think they are going in the wrong direction with the actual game, which is what I'm going to talk about now. You see, the problem with this game is, I think it looks great. I mean, that's not a problem, by the way. I digress. It looks great, the game. It does look good. But they've ruined the immersion by not really knowing what to do with the game. Every game has to have some kind of adversary or something that's dangerous. I get that, and without that the game would be shit. Well, it's shit anyway, but yeah. The problem is, what they've done is they have made the adversarial conditions, which is the weather on Mars, shit, and natural occurring phenomenon shit. For example, you build up your base by selecting the specific building that you want to build, and you place a 3D printer model of it down, and then you have to go and get the resources that's required for the 3D printer to build that specific object or building or whatever. Now, to get that, you have to go to these little resource pools that are dotted around the map. Now, the map that you have is pretty much the worst game map I have ever seen. It looks like it was designed by a 3-year-old. You can't make head nor tail of it. It's totally pointless and shit. So forget that. We need a proper map. A mini-map would also be nice in this game as well, but we don't have that either. And so you're at the mercy of a badly designed map, which is full of blocked sheer cliff faces that you can't get past. These cliff faces that you can't get past are separated by places you can get past. And literally all of these places that you can get past have phenomenon happening there. For example, you will have a green cloud of corrosive shit, and that levels from level 1 to level, I don't know, the highest I've ever seen is a level 7, which eats through your suit and your basic suit, because you can upgrade your suit and you can upgrade your vehicle, but it'll eat through your basic vehicles. You also have meteor strikes that I've seen up to level 8, which if one of them lands on you will pretty much take 70% of your health off. You also have radioactive places, which the radioaction will actually get you. There's all kinds of stuff. There's tornadoes, and all of these are so predictable. You know exactly where they're going to be. You know that when you go for a resource pool, you're going to have to navigate your way through slaloming, meteor strikes, tornadoes, corrosive bloody clouds, and it is so game breaking that I can't believe they've actually done it. I can't believe the developers have actually sat down and said to themselves, hey look, cliff there, so they're going to drive through there. So I'll tell you what, we'll put a level 8 meteor strike there, then as they're going through that we'll put some tornadoes coming up there, and then when they just think they're out of it, we'll put a big green cloud that they have to navigate round down there, and then there's the resource pool there, and we'll put random tornadoes coming near the pool there. Then when they're way back, we'll put all that stuff there, and then when they go to this other pool at the other side of the map, there's a little gap there where they have to go through, that's all. We'll put, I don't know, a level 6 glacier down there, so, and all this shit, so that it becomes the most contrived fucking unimmersive pile of shit that you'll ever see. It's just like I'm banging my head off a wall thinking, what the fuck are these people doing? Who in their right mind designs a game like that? It is the most unimmersive pile of shit that I've ever had the misfortune to play, that looks so good and feels so good. It's almost like they build you up and say, look at what we've got for you. You on Mars with this lovely JCB. Oh wow, nice little garage there. All these blueprints to make. Resources to go and explore and collect. And then we're going to just make it utter shite by placing all these things like a fucking tower defense game between you and the resources. You see, when you play games like Empyrean Galactic Survival, which is very similar to this without the JCBs, where you have these pools of resources and you have your base that you have to build up to colonize the planet. With that, sometimes you'll go and get resources and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. You just make your way to the place, get the stuff and come back, and you feel good about that because that's kind of realistic. Yeah, the chances of anything happening are pretty slim, I would say. So you go and you do that and you come back and then you're getting on with your base and it's all good building the base. You don't mind the grind. I don't mind the grind. You know, you go back and guess what? Nothing happens again. And then you come back and then you're building your base up. Then you go back to the resource again because you keep having to ferry more and more. Then the next time you go back, there's this alien creature coming. It's seen you, it's coming for you, and it's like, it feels like, shit, I am on a real alien planet, because it wasn't there the first 2 times, but just randomly it just happened to be coming past the 3rd time I was there, and bam! Now that's called immersion. And in this game you should have that, where you go to a resource place and nothing happens. Nothing happens, you get your resources and you come back to the base and nothing happens. Then you go back out to another one and nothing happens. Then you come back to the base and nothing happens. But then the next time you go out, there just happens to be a meteorital disturbance and you have this bombardment of meteorites that just was so random that you accept that, yeah, that's kind of good. I like that. Like in the film The Martian, when that storm came. The storm wasn't there every fucking day, you know. It's like you've got to learn how to create an immersive game, and you do that by making things realistic. You don't just put... It's on a tower defense game. Honestly, I felt like I was playing like a co-op tower defense game with this. My team had the JCB and I have to drive to get the resources, and the other player has to stop me, and he's got all these things at his disposal. I'll plant a meteor storm there, a tornado storm there, I'll put a corrosive cloud there. It's so fucking contrived, it ruins the game. Get rid of it all. And do you know something else? Why are they... Is that it? Is that all we are battling against here? Because we need more. How about an underground Martian worm or something? You know, how about an earthquake that'll smack our buildings around a bit and cause a lot of damage on it, you know? I mean, bring more stuff in, but make it more random. Make it more immersive, please, because at the moment I don't even want to play the game because it is so fucking predictable. I just know that when I place my new building, oh, this time I need titanium. Oh, I've never had titanium before. Oh, there's my waypoint marker, titanium's over there. Alright, I guarantee between me and the titanium is a shit ton of fucking contrived wank that I've got to navigate past. I mean, it's not hard to navigate past it, it's just fucking boring. It's just, it kills the game for me. You just here we go over the rise and cue the meteorites, cue the corrosive cloud, cue tornadoes. It's just blah. There's also a lot of bugs in this game, a lot of bugs. My repair gun just vanished randomly, then comes back when I put some repair ammo in my inventory suit. You get rewarded for doing quests in this game. You get JCB points where you can upgrade your suit and you can upgrade your vehicle. You can put a scoop on it, you can buff out its armor, you can put a bigger inventory in it. Thank goodness, because the inventory system in this game is laughable. You've got this big JCB and it can hardly carry a bloody thing, and you're constantly having to ferry back and forth from your base through these contrived events every time. It is so bad, and you can only upgrade it by 10 at a time, and it's so slow and grindy. But like I said, I don't mind grindy if it's good grindy. You know, you need to look at Empyrean Galactic Survival and see how they've done it, and just, you know, take some inspiration from that, and a few other games that do it right. This does it wrong.
it's too early, I feel. It's got a bad tutorial that leaves you second guessing everything that you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. It doesn't really tell you or help you at all. It just throws you in and says, hey, guess what? Press a few buttons and, you know, waggle your mouse around, and you might be lucky and be able to wire up your buildings, you know, or you might find out how you get into these chests that's randomly scattered around the place that I still have no idea how to get into. It could be great. It has massive potential, this. They're onto something. They're really onto something, but I just feel like whoever's leading them needs to just go on holiday and come back with a brand new way of thinking, because it's going in the wrong direction, this game. Clearly it's going in the wrong direction. You need to stop and turn the fuck around and go in another direction, a more an immersive direction. When you watch The Martian, it was what an immersive film that was. Yes, there was some bullshit in it. You have to have bullshit in it because we're in 2017. You know, there's like a box to tick. 2017, we need 20% bullshit. Yeah, there you go. For the little kids, they go woo woo woo. You know, but apart from that, it was a very immersive film, and it had you on the edge of your seat at times because it was a real, you know, it was believable. This game isn't believable. It's too false. It's like false tits, you know. I just don't believe them. I don't want to suck them because they're just false. They don't look right. They look like fucking balloons. You know, they don't sit natural. They don't flop properly. They're not real. I don't want to stick me lips around that nipple. It's just, no, it's false. It's wrong. I don't want to kiss your pouty lips because you've had them Botoxed. They're not real. You know, I don't like it. It's false. It's false. It's not real. This game could be real. It could be real because it has a lot of the things that a lot of games don't have. It could be brilliant, but it's not. And it needs to be brilliant. So fix it. Thanks.